this is all going to work out. We are live. According to this, we're live. I wonder if anyone's going to come in. How do I see all this? Have we got anyone coming up? I'm still useless at trying to find out if we've got anyone viewing us yet. Oh, we've got 2 people. But is that us? I always never sure, is it?
No, it shouldn't be us.
No, it shouldn't be. I see. Hi, everyone. Whoever's here, we've got 2. We'll wait for a little bit before we sort of do anything more. People are coming on. I know that we've got Jack said she was coming on, and Alice is coming on, and my sister Charlie said Charlie from Charlie But Reads is popping over at some point to say hello to us. Even though she's not read it either, so it's going to be interesting. Hi, Ange. You've read it. I know you have. Because she left a group on the Boxer group. We don't do that Boxer group very much now, do we? It's kind of gone off the cure a bit. Maybe we need to put more people. It's gone down. Maybe we need to put more on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know Angela's read it. We've read it, but me and you read it a while ago, so it's going to be.
Yeah, the old memory isn't that great these days.
It's the old age, but even though you're the youngest in our group, so you've got less to say.
Yeah, but I'm emotionally like an old person. I saw Rebecca say that she'd read it the other day.
Yeah, I saw as well. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. So, you can go. You're the one that created this read along.
So, yeah. I mean, initial thoughts, Ems. What did you think? I mean, that's obviously.
I liked it. I did like it. Jack's here and Alice is here as well. Hey. Hiya. Oh, she's a smart ass. She finished Catherine Howard today. Bloody hell, woman. Lynn Stewart, she finished it as well.
Wow.
She finished it already. Finished Catherine Howard. She's better than me, and I thought I was doing all right. I've read a bit of a chunk of Catherine Howard. But yeah, I liked Anna of Kleves, and I rated it 5 stars when I originally rated it, and then I thought when I compared it to others, when I compared it to the other books that I was reading that month, I realised it wasn't really 5; it was back to 3 and 4 stars. But it is one of the better ones, but it's more fictional, I think.
Yeah.
Then obviously that's one of the initial things. Is it's more fictional than the other ones, but it's less repetitive.
I think I liked it more because it was more fictional.
Yes, I think Anne said that as well. That Charlie's here apparently as well. Is Charlie here? Charlie's here! Yay! God, that was fast. I didn't even see it. Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
She knows I'm obsessed with the Tudors. Like I said in other videos, but yeah, I liked it more because of that. But I think I'm just trying to decide how I'm going to feel about it once I've read the next 2. Because Catherine Howard and Catherine Parr's my favourite queen. Anna of Kleves is one of the better ones. But yeah.
Yeah, it was my favourite one of the 4.
Yes, definitely my favourite of the 4. Actually, no, I kind of really like Catherine Howard. Catherine of Aragon.
I did like Catherine of Aragon, but I think the thing that with that is I preferred Philippa Gregory's version.
Yes,
and that's always going to be like in my mind that it was not as good. But then Philippa Gregory's version was much more fictionalized.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
it's made me want to go back and listen to the Philippa Gregory ones again, because I read them so long ago, like the earlier ones. So I kind of want to go and look at like the White Queen maybe, or the White Princess and things like that, and some of the other ones. So I'm gonna have to have a look into it. And Charlie's noticed about the fact we're in our snugglies tonight.
Yeah, not a scrap of makeup on tonight.
You haven't, I have.
Have you?
Yeah, I've only got a bit of on and a bit of concealer.
I got out of the shower and I was like, yeah, no.
You get away with it, babe. Seriously. No, we decided we'd go snuggly tonight because we've both had busy days. Yeah. I may have gone to town and bought some books, and
Of course you did it.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's all of you lots. It's all of the girls' fault, by the way. If anyone notices, by the way, my book buying going up in January, it's the Book Waffle girls' fault, because I'm researching their books for the my new project.
It's your project.
It's my project, but it's your fault I have to come to it. Yeah, because my friend, my boss at Baz Books was like, so why are you looking for soap operas? I don't know why. Anyway, we shouldn't really talk about that, but yeah, we're in our snuggly so that we can chill after busy days.
Indeed.
So Alice is saying Anna was quite fun, but she didn't believe a word of it. Jane Seymour was Alice's favourite. So this is quite diverse.
I did like Jane Seymour. I did. I don't know. I think I also like the fact that with Anna of Kleves,
yes.
We got like before and after Henry, because obviously she outlived him. So I felt that it was a broader novel. Probably just because of the time span, but I don't know, it had more in it than the others.
But yeah, it wasn't too long though. That was also good. It was long. It perhaps a bit more, but it wasn't. Yeah, because Catherine of Aragon, we all said was very long, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a bit too long.
A bit too waffly.
So,
yeah. Oh, so Rebecca's been watching Lauren and the books for her. I don't listen to her anymore. Sorry. Controversial. I don't listen to Lauren and her books anymore.
Oh, I really like Lauren and the books.
I did, but I've just got too many other people to watch. And I've got all you lot, so I'm kind of, yeah. But I need to go and listen to her reviews of it. I would be interested. But she was Anna said she thought she had an interesting life, but it's a bit repetitive still. Yes, certain bits, but I think we're going to get that with the fact that it's all the 6 Tudor queens, like one after the other.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought it was less repetitive, possibly, certainly than the first 2.
Charlie is going to see the musical in February, and I didn't even know this.
Jealous.
I'm more jealous, and I'm a sister. Why is she not taking me? Why are you not taking me, Charlie? I'm getting huffy with this. That's something I could have liked. But I can't wait. Yeah, little cowboy. I'm gonna get a revenge on her. Yeah, I'd like to see the musical actually. But yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to sort of like compare that and sort of do it like that. But we've still got the other 2 queens, and I think that they are going to be a part. I do think like the fact when you go into each book, you do kind of get the history of the others in it, but with Anna, it doesn't come in straight away. We get her history first.
Yeah, and I really liked her sort of childhood upbringing, the whole bit in Kleves. Though one of the things that I thought wasn't done so well was sort of the explanation of the politics around the decision for Anna and Henry to marry. That wasn't clear to me. I found that a bit hard to follow. To do with like the emperor and alliances and all that sort of stuff. And I sort of got the broad gist of it, but I didn't think it was well explained in the book.
No, they didn't. They focused more on the bit with Otto, her cousin, and that they diverted that bit. They spent more time on that bit of her having the child, allegedly. That is still allegedly. It's not sort of confirmed, I don't think.
No, I don't think there's any evidence at all for it.
No, I think that was just a bit of the fictionalised bit. But
what I was thinking about that bit though, how did you feel about that scene, the Otto and Catherine, Otto and Anna scene?
Icky.
He full on took advantage.
Like she proper didn't know what the hell she was doing.
She really didn't know what she was doing.
No, it's like nowadays it was like, okay.
Well, we would call it statutory rape these days.
Yes, definitely. But yet she still, and we saw how obviously as the book went on, we saw how that ended with, they ended up being back in love, and I was like, So this is the guy that kind of raped her at the start. Yet when her and Catherine are over, Otto kind of comes back in, and they're back in a relationship, and they have another so-called child and miscarriage, whatever.
Yeah, I just found their whole relationship quite unbelievable.
Yeah, to be honest, that was definitely fictional. Like,
and I don't think it was very well handled either, because it was an unhealthy relationship at the beginning, and then it sort of made out to be this like epic love story by the end, and it was I don't know, I found it quite problematic.
Yeah, it wasn't needed. It was that they were fluffing out more of that at the start before we'd even got to the bit when she was meeting Henry. And obviously you want to find out a past, you want to set the story up, and I think obviously where the fake child was put in, it was because of sort of setting up the story, maybe, and setting up something to go alongside Anna's history, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, that the historical context was that obviously Henry got this portrait of Anna that was unrealistic. When he saw her, he thought she was, for lack of a better word, ugly. But that wasn't really covered in the book at all.
No, it wasn't at all. Like, it was completely... Yeah, Anne struggled with the fact that it was non-fictionalised. And Alice both struggled with the non-fictionalised bit. And I think that was the fact, because obviously if we went on the facts bit, the facts bit are that he didn't meet Anna. He didn't meet her. He only had a picture to go on, and the picture was drawn. And the way that was sort of spoken about, I think if we remember, obviously, like, we both read it a while ago, but if we remember correctly, that it was done that the picture was supposed to be more flattering than it was, and it was supposed to be a bit more sort of portraying her in the best light so that they would get married. I think that was why it was done like that. And then, yeah, it didn't kind of work out. And then obviously Henry had a better portrayal. And I know I have a... Charlie will know this if she's still here. I have a thing about the word ugly. Cannot flipping stand that word. Does my nut. Can't... kill me every time. And the way they were sort of writing her in about it, it was like, well, what the heck, you know? Yeah, the picture wasn't done right. And I think... But Henry married her when he was grieving. Medley was fibulous. You listen to this 2 cents later. The comments are going on. They were all going for it in the comments now. But yeah, I think it was definitely like Henry wanted a wife straight after Jane, and he was doing everything he could to get a wife. And from what I read about other stuff, and I read the book about Henry VIII, there's some, I think, didn't I? I read that a non-fictional book. He was just desperate. He was grieving. He just kind of wanted to get it done and, you know, get procreating, bish bash bosh, get another one in the bed. And it wasn't like, you know,
yeah,
portrayed right and stuff. But
no,
I think,
the thing is, it was from Anna's perspective, and she sort of suggested in the narrative that it was more or less a true liking. It was like her best side, but I don't know, it seemed quite far from what we know to be the history, and that is fine if it's a reimagining, but all of her other books have been so close to the historical line, it seemed like quite a departure. Definitely.
Oh, by the way, bye Charlie. I know Charlie just said she's going, sorry. Right. Yes, I think a lot of the other books are more factual, and it will be intriguing. I think, what I can remember, I think it's the only one that's a lot more fiction based. Yeah, I like the friendship. We'll talk about that more in a bit, about the friendship. Alex is saying about the friendship side of it, and I think that was done really well. But I think this is probably the most fictional book out of the 6, because there was less known about Anna. Even though, but then it's really weird. Like, it's the most fictional, yeah, it's longer than Catherine Howard.
But then you say that, but then she's just made stuff up. It's not just
I suppose, yeah.
It's full on made stuff up, which is fine if that's the vibe that she's going for, but she didn't go for that vibe with the rest of the series, and I think that's what irks me. As a standalone book about Anna, I thought it was good, but I just didn't think it gelled with the other books in the series.
No, it didn't, and it didn't gel with the other factual stuff that we've read about Anna.
Agreed.
And we've all read. I think I've read some books about Anna of Kleves, or whatever we say. You know, I think this is probably the least factual that there is, and that annoys me, because I think they could have gone more into the politics around her meeting Henry, why she got set up with Henry. That could have been really used as a lot more core material, rather than going down the child bit, which we know is fiction. If there were suspicions, fair enough, you could have, but we know it's fiction.
Yeah.
So it's probably not really needed. Looking at my notes here. But when she met, like, so we talk about the portrait and stuff, and that he literally looked at her and he didn't fall in, you know, he was one that had the eye for the ladies, but back then, wasn't he? Like, he really was, even though by the time he met Anna, he was an older guy, a bigger guy.
Yeah, there's necessarily.
Yeah. He already had his problems with ulcers in his legs and stuff, and he wasn't what's deemed as attractive anyway. Like, he wasn't the catch he was with Catherine of Aragon.
No.
So we look at like how he did that. Oh, Jack's going, I've not spread the book. Jack, you're joining us for Catherine of Howard. Catherine, is it Catherine Howard, or is she just joining us for the last one?
I can't remember.
I'm intrigued. Right, hang on a minute. Cromwell wanted the Protestant princess for him to re-strengthen the Reformation. Yes. Oh, that's interesting. Jack said that apparently that was why it all happened, because he wanted Cromwell. Her marriage was what led to Cromwell's downfall. Oh, you see that? That's quite interesting, isn't it?
But that's what I mean. There was all of that stuff that could have been covered. And yes, they did cover the downfall of Cromwell, but not much, because it was all taken up with this fictional storyline about her and Otto and this imaginary child. And I felt like maybe Alison Weir wasn't confident enough to write like political historical fiction. And so she just went down this sort of like wishy-washy path. I don't know.
Yeah,
that might sound a bit hard.
No, I think she didn't really need to do that, you know?
Yeah. But then maybe Anna didn't cross paths with Cromwell enough for her to... I don't know.
Yeah, but Cromwell's intriguing. We read about him. I've read about him, obviously, in the Wolf Hall books. Because he was a big part of that. Not that I remember that, which is really bad, because I only read that last year. Yeah. But yeah, there could have been so much more. But the portrait was interesting when they met. So they met, and Henry made it pretty obvious that he wasn't like bowled over by her, was he?
No, though obviously in the book, it made it seem like he did try.
Yeah, I think that was quite good.
And I think I think that's fair enough. If you're not physically attracted to someone, you're not physically attracted to someone, are you?
Yeah, I think Henry seemed nicer in this book. He seemed to have softened.
Yeah.
Is that just me? That I think Henry's portrayed quite nicely in this.
I think he is quite a departure from what we've known of him in the past, with the exception of his relationship with Jane Seymour. But even with Jane Seymour, if she brought up anything political...
Oh, he got all fiery, didn't he? He got all fiery and all, like, argumentative and stuff.
Yeah.
Put her right back in her place.
Yeah. So...
Maybe he was softening.
Well, he weren't softening that much, was he? Because he then chopped his next wife's head off.
Yeah, I was just got to say that. But that was, like, proper... Like, we'll obviously go into more when we read Catherine Howard book. But with Catherine Howard, it was lust again. He fell for a pretty youngster... And when she didn't turn out to be the way she wanted, he, like I said, he chopped her head off.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was softer in the book. Yeah, everyone's saying he was definitely softer in the book. And I think Anna was politically more astute. Well, she survived, didn't she? So she obviously wasn't that daft.
Well, she
got out with just the divorce.
Stay out of a lot of stuff, didn't she?
Yeah. She tried hard. She got on with all these kids. She got him to really make up with his kids as well.
I really appreciated her relationship actually with the girls. I think that was nice to see, and the fact that obviously it did, like say, continue after their marriage was annulled.
That was done really nice.
Showed quite a nice strength of character for her that perhaps she hadn't shown previously in the book.
She had a real friendship with Mary, and that's actually been told in other books as well. I think the Philippa Gregory ones talk about the fact that she stayed friends with Mary.
Yeah. But again, there was this whole... Obviously, Mary was Catholic and Elizabeth was Protestant. But she was friends with both of them. But I didn't feel like Alison Weir really explored the minefield that Anna would have been walking on by being friends with both of them. Particularly if they became sort of like teenagers and came into positions of power. I think that was another missed opportunity.
Definitely, because obviously we all know that Elizabeth and Mary, as much as they were sisters and they tried with each other, they did clash big time.
Well, they were opposite religions, basically.
Exactly. Weren't they? And their mums hated each other, basically.
And they both had claims to the same throne.
Yeah, exactly. So But yeah, so how Anna kind of stepped on those lines of not disagreeing with like both of them, and obviously, like we said, like we know that Elizabeth was getting older when Anna came around, so she was starting to get more aware of everything. There's lots going on in these comments at the moment. So just having a look here.
Oh, I can't see them, so you're gonna have to fill me in.
All right, so here we go. So I'm just sort of catching up a little bit. Is that Lynn was saying that the it was softer in the book, yeah. So we got Anna. Oh, and was saying that Anna was more politically astute. Yeah, we said that. Charlotte book. Sorry, am I being noisy?
Romans is on the line.
Yes, I know, but I think. I'm sorry, Mia's coming. So true. So yeah. So we're going. Sorry, Catherine Howard was another victim of the court. Yeah, and it's sort of so much has been explored. Yeah, there's so much more that could have been said, and we know that now. This is what they're all saying, that there was a lot more that we could have actually got from the book. So I think we all seem to be quite disappointed that the book didn't quite go the way we expected.
But again, I think this is a marketing issue rather than a book issue, because it's marketed as this series that's quite true to fact, and then you've got this outlying book that is not, but could have been.
Yeah, so she could have done more of it.
Like, I don't know, like maybe she was ill the year she wrote that one. I don't know. And she's like, shit, I've got a deadline, quick.
What's going on?
It's that child.
Exactly. If it was the last one, you'd be able to understand it a bit more, wouldn't you? So what have we got here? So we've got the divorce. Well, we're doing really well here. The divorce was something that we knew was inevitable. Obviously, we all knew that was going to happen anyway. And like we said, like we know, Catherine Howard popped up in court, which was very intriguing. No, Alison is not a bad writer. I totally agree with you, and she's not a bad writer. But this was not one of her better or factual books, you know? It's just because we expect more, I think. For those of you that like the Tudor and like the fact side of it, when it's too much fiction, that's where it's kind of, like we're saying, it's the too much of the extremes. But the divorce we knew was going to happen. Yeah, short books. Yeah, she didn't want to do. All her books are quite long. But we know that Catherine Howard, we knew that it was going to be divorced anyway. And I think the way it does, I think it did quite well the way it put Catherine Howard coming into this. In the Anna of Kleves book, Catherine Howard is subtly snuck in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hardly even notice her until she's literally in Henry's bed.
Yeah, that wasn't talked about very much. Whereas in other ones, the mistress has been spoken about more. So maybe she deliberately left it so that we could kind of get ready for Catherine Howard. Maybe she was kind of setting that up. Wasn't the storyline of Anna's child based on a comment Henry made? Yes, I think that was it. They were based that it was rumoured that Henry made a comment about the fact that her body didn't look like it could be a virgin body or something. Her breasts didn't look like they were virgin. How the hell?
Probably because she wasn't like 15 like his other girlfriends.
Oh no, exactly. History is interesting. Yeah, it doesn't need embellishment. Yeah, that's why history is fascinating. I think that's the thing. Yeah, Henry made an off-shot comment. I think that's where Alison Weir went on it.
Okay.
So that's more. But yeah, the divorce we knew was relevant. But I think it was done. The divorce bit was also done very quickly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of booted out quite quickly.
But I thought it was quite nice to like see her thought process and she didn't make any snap decisions, any snap sort of refusals or acceptances. She kind of took her time with it and worked out basically what was going to keep her head on her shoulders. Knowing what had happened to obviously the previous three queens. Sort of as it's been said in the comments, she was very astute and very sort of aware of the tightrope she was walking. And I thought that was well covered around the annulment, her thought process there. So I quite like that section. Yeah,
it's done well. I think I loved the way that we talked about Henry's friendship with her. I loved how that was done. That was probably one of my favourite bits. That it said about the fact that he called her like his sister.
Yeah.
He loved her like a sister. And it was genuine love in that way. So it wasn't he wasn't in love with her, but he did love her in his own way. And that's a kind of nice way, isn't it?
It is. But was that just because she used to tell him what he wanted to hear?
Yes, possibly. God. I'm also looking. So we've got Ange and back to a family. God. Yeah, Alice is saying that she would rather have had a shorter book that was factual, as it would have matched the series better. She can get shipped back to her family. She didn't want to get shipped back to her family. No, definitely. And Lynn was saying that she wanted the best of both worlds. She didn't want to go back to her brother. Yeah, because her brother was leading the court.
And she got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, she did.
Really,
she got to stay there, didn't she?
She got a bloody good allowance, or whatever you call it.
Yeah, definitely.
A few nice houses, and sort of left to her own devices, pretty much. So
yeah, she survived with her head as well, which more than everyone other people did.
Yeah. So right up until the end, when obviously all the political stuff started kicking off around Edward and Mary and Elizabeth, she did really well for herself.
Yes. Didn't she die when Mary was queen? At the end, I think.
Yeah.
Because she outlived Edward.
Yeah.
But she didn't get to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
See, that would be more interesting, wouldn't it? Like we talk about. Yeah, so we're talking about Catherine Howard. Catherine Howard's very much got a very short bit in this book. So I think that's the fact that I don't know, she didn't outlive Catherine Parr. I don't think. No, she didn't outlive Catherine. Actually, did she?
I don't know.
I think. That's my brain's having to go. Because Catherine Parr married. Well, she might have been similar, because Catherine Parr died after having a baby, and that was Jane Seymour's brother's baby. So I don't. Catherine Parr died in this book. Maybe. God, that's really bad. I can't remember. That's where we live in. Actually, do you know, I'm going to look at the book. Gemma, you talk for a minute. I'm going to have a look, because I've got the timeline bit at the end.
No pressure, Em.
No pressure. Right, there we go. So, right, in 1542, Catherine Howard was killed. Catherine Parr was done he married Henry VIII in 43. Death of Henry VIII was in 47. It's not got here about the dates at the end. About the fact that, because Anna of Cleves died in 1557. Okay. So on the timelines, it's not saying she died. But that's not saying maybe she didn't. I don't know. That's intriguing. That's actually intriguing. I'm living annoyed now. I'm going to have to go and look that up.
But what I didn't know that I thought was quite a nice, interesting little fact was that Henry married Catherine Howard on the same day that he chopped off Cromwell's head. That's a bit macabre, isn't it?
Interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice little addition.
Oh, that's the thing. He was a bugger, wasn't he? He was all for chopping everyone's heads off.
Yeah.
He survived it. Yeah. Well, Cromwell's a blooming bugger. In fact, wasn't it Cromwell that got Anne Boleyn's head chopped off?
Yeah. I think it was, yeah.
You really? Catherine. Jack's listening to Catherine Howard on audiobook. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, and I think you probably are right, but I can't for the life of me remember. I do, like I said, I remember it'll be intriguing to read Catherine Parr at the end. That's not going to be till April, May, isn't it? We got
March, April.
No, March, April. What we got reading Catherine. Yeah, God, yeah, March, April. You're right. Brain, right? You're the one that takes me out of your brain, but no. March, April, we're reading Catherine Parr. God, we're nearly done.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
We are getting
Google
there.
it. Okay. Yep, you were right. You lot were right. Apparently, Alice has Googled it. Anna died in 1557. Catherine Parr died in 1548.
The longest living.
Yeah, but it was sad about how Catherine Parr died, though. She died after having a baby. She finally got the baby she wanted, and she died.
I haven't read that one yet, Em.
I know. I'm just like, that was that. Oh my God, I've got the proof copy for that one.
Stop. Reverse.
Yes, reverse. Go back. But yeah, that's their fault. They were looking up. It was all up. She lived. She lived it. It's their fault. I'm blaming them. This is the thing. Our Brit Waffle group. They're all in the chatters. They're all like stopping me up. So we've got about comparing the queens. This was our next point, according to my
Yeah,
things.
because I thought Anna was quite similar to Catherine in like her stoicism and her measured approach. I thought there were a lot of similarities between those two queens.
So, brother, spoiler that Ems has done an Ange. Ems has done an Ange. That's what Ange just put in the comments. Sorry, this is just making me laugh. The comments in here, it's really dangerous. Oh my goodness. Alice is, by the way, saying quickly she wants to read about the last two queens, but not too much. She doesn't get on with this series. Oh no. But no, I think you're right. I think getting diverted. This is not going the way we normally are. We're not normally a lot more organised. But I think you're right. I think Anna was definitely more reserved, like Catherine of Aragon.
But she was a bit kinder, sort of more like Jane Seymour. So she had that.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, like a mix of the two.
Because she was very sweet, because she knew that if she was sweet, she'd save her life. But she did her best to be very diplomatic and get on with everyone.
Yeah.
She knew the most, because obviously she'd already been around and like she'd seen what had happened to all the other queens.
Exactly. And that was mentioned quite a few times, wasn't it? Her sort of awareness of what had happened to her predecessors. And right at the beginning, there was that whole bit about whether she'd rather her sister be betrothed.
But then she wouldn't want to put her sister at risk. You know, you think about it and stuff. So it would be intriguing. Like, she did quite well, but then I think it seems to be Anna. Like, obviously, we know that Anne Boleyn was like the she-devil. But out of all of them, she was the one that was the most opinionated, and she was the one that manipulated. And then you've got the others that weren't like that.
You call her the she-devil, but she just believed in what she believed in, and she was trying to make reforms. And some of the reforms she was trying to bring in were right. You know, a translated version of the Bible that everyone can read. That should have, you know, that is law now. But you can see why she was fighting for it. But she was very ambitious, and in the end, that was what killed her.
Yeah, definitely. I think with her, she kind of but I think the other three seem to have kind of just been more chilled out with him, and they all were. Certainly, Jane and Anna were scared stupid, both of them.
Yeah.
Well, you kill one wife, the rest of them are going to be pretty scared.
Yeah.
When they killed the second one.
That was more the norm for the time as well. You know, for women to be as outspoken and have political opinions like Anne Boleyn did was pretty rare, especially for sort of that level, sort of the upper levels of society. Women sort of were seen and not heard, weren't they?
Definitely. Lynn points something out that Anna and Catherine of Aragon were both royal queens. They were both royal princesses. So they knew about royalty and they knew how to act politically correct. And she's right, because Jane Seymour and Anne Boleyn didn't know any of that. Did they?
Yeah. It's a good point. I think you can see that similarity in them, that level of aristocracy.
Aristocracy. But yes, definitely. And I think that's another thing that we can look back on. Lynn pointed that out very well, actually. Hi, we've got someone else watching. But yeah, I think it's definitely quite interesting, because like we know the least about her, and the fact that yes, she'd survived the longest, but she had the shortest marriage, didn't she?
Yeah. So she hadn't had time to really piss him off.
No, she would have been around more. She could easily. Let's be honest, he was, like I said, like we knew he was a fiery character, and this was definitely a book that showed the nicer side to him, but he was still like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I don't fancy her, I'm gonna divorce her. And thank God they didn't do too much sexy stuff in this book, thank God. I don't want to see Sir Henry. I've just got images of big fat Henry VIII at the moment, and I don't want to think about him doing naughty stuff.
I don't think there have been many sexy scenes in any of them, have there?
No, Anne Boleyn, I think, didn't they?
Was there?
I can't remember. Jane Seymour it wasn't. I know he got down and dirty with obviously Catherine Howard at the start. Catherine of Aragon. He had the most romance, didn't he? Obviously, he was his one true love.
Mm.
So it's not too bad. But he was younger then, wasn't he?
Mm.
So they do say that Catherine of Aragon was his one true love. And
I think he loved Jane.
Yeah, Jane was love as well. Jane was quite short-lived loved. How that would have gone if she would have survived, we don't know.
Yeah.
But Anne Boleyn was last. And so was, like we said, I know we don't talk about the other ones, but Catherine Howard was lust. And then the last one was what it was. It was a marriage of convenience.
Mm.
So yeah, we know that it was very interesting how it all went, but it was quite sad that. So, what do we think about this? So we've said that obviously at the start we kind of ended up doing that a bit differently. That there's the stuff about Otto and that romance. Do we think that was needed? The miscarriage as well. Once she'd broken up with them.
So the miscarriage. Again, I found that really unbelievable. Not the fact that she had a miscarriage, but that she would have been able to have that child in secret, bury it in secret, with the number of people that were around her.
Again, but that wasn't that fictionalised again.
It was fictionalised again, but it was fictionalised in a way that wasn't believable to the plot. So
yeah, it wasn't needed in the plot either, was it?
I could see what she was trying to do. She was trying to grow this bond between Otto and Anna that wasn't really there because they'd only had sex once 20 years ago. So I get why it was there, but it just didn't.
Do you think it was also there to give Anna the happy ending? To give her, because she lived the longest, she had something happy outside of.
Well, she didn't really have a happy ending, did she? Because he got sent off, didn't he?
No, he stayed around. He stayed right by her side when she died. She died of breast cancer.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought he got shipped off with all the other.
No, he was around.
Because she met her son at the end, didn't she?
Yeah, he was still kept going backwards and forwards and stuff, and he was right with her at the end.
Yeah.
When she died of breast cancer. That wasn't a very fun. But that was quite sad.
Oh, and there were interesting cures. Was that this book? Was that this book? The urine of a.
I can't remember if that was this book, but they did have interesting cures. It's either this book or the Philippa Gregory one about the interesting cures for breast cancer.
Yeah.
God, you do not want to live back then, would you?
No. Because, the doctor got his son to urinate, didn't he?
Oh, yuck.
And use that as a poultice.
Oh, yuck. No, thanks.
Delightful.
No, I don't want to think about that anymore. No, that was just yucky. But, so that was done. It was interesting. That was a bit, the breast cancer bit was, I think the storyline with the breast cancer bit, I believe that was factual. Because that was quite common for people to die of that, women to die of that back then.
And I did like the bit at the end where, she told her son that he was her son, and I thought,
that was sweet,
all quite emotional and all the rest of it. But it was just a fictional story. Do you know what I mean? And that's fine if that's what you're going for, but I don't think that's what she was going for. So
they could have done. I'm just saying they could have done more with the Otto and Anna storyline if he would have gone to court with her.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh. Two sages has no desire to live in the past. Fair enough. Whatever. Yeah, it's interesting. No, I would never want to live back then. No, definitely. The lives now are a lot safer. We've done a lot better
in some ways.
Yeah, but that was stuff with them as teenagers. Yeah, that stuff with them as teenagers wasn't needed. The Otto storyline, no. We said this at the start of the video. It was really not.
Yeah, it's unpleasant.
Yeah.
I found their whole relationship weak.
Not storyline sensible. But going forward, I'd like to know which of the last two queens are people looking forward to? I think we'll wrap this up a little bit earlier tonight.
I'm really looking forward to Catherine Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be quite dramatic.
I am saying nothing. I'm like I said, I'm going to say to her, no spoilers. I'm not going to be naughty anymore.
Watch your hairs. I think that'll be. But I hope it's distinct enough from Anne Boleyn. I hope it's not just a rehash of that story.
I've started it, and I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I'm very much in the early days, and you're getting Catherine Howard's storyline, so it will be interesting. Catherine Howard will be a saucy book. God, yeah, she certainly. Yeah. This is actually already. She's just becoming a teenager, and you can see stuff. Yeah, I think Catherine Parr's book's probably one of the longer ones because she has a lot bigger backstory, and they go into her backstory quite a lot. So I think people are going to like Catherine Parr because it's certainly not as fictional. Definitely Anna of Cleves is the most fictional. From what I can remember of the other two, they're not fictional.
That doesn't bode well for me though, because Anna of Cleves is the one I've liked the most.
But you might, I think like Jack's saying here about the fact that Catherine Howard was a child and she was manipulated. And we know this before you've even read this book. You're going into this knowing what happened to her.
Yeah.
That Boleyn family and the Howard family were bastards. They were complete arsewipes, and they manipulated both the girls. So if you are going to get a bit of that rehashed, but I think Catherine Howard was definitely more innocent than Anne Boleyn. They definitely wanted her to become queen. They saw her beauty. But how that's going to play out, I can't remember. I can't remember this one. You know what I mean? I can't remember Catherine Howard very much. So it's going to be interesting. I hope you like it.
Fingers crossed.
But it's a shorter book, so that's another good thing.
Yeah.
I am intrigued, and I hope that everyone else enjoys it. So we seem to have had very mixed feelings on the readers. You and me liked Anna of Cleves more, but Ange and Alice didn't.
Oh. Which one was Ange's favourite?
Yeah, I'm actually intrigued. Which one's yours, Alice?
Alice's favourite was Jane Seymour.
Jane Seymour, yeah. I did think that. But Alice is still not getting on with the writing stuff, right? But yeah, Jane Seymour was definitely Alice's favourite because she hated Anne Boleyn.
Yeah. The audiobook was awful for that, though, so that probably helped.
Lynn, who was your favourite?
Yeah. Who's everyone's favourite to date?
Yes, I would like to know this. I'm waiting. I'm going to keep looking at the comments to find out who everyone's favourite is.
So yeah, my favourite book was Anna of Cleves, but my favourite queen remains Catherine of Aragon.
At the moment, Catherine of Aragon is my favourite queen, but I will see whether that changes when I read Catherine Parr again, because I did like Catherine Parr quite a lot.
Yeah, I remember you ranked her first, I think.
I think I did actually. Did in my video, yeah. Because I did love her. I don't know what, there was something about her.
I don't really know anything about her, so apart from what you've just told me.
Yeah.
So
Anna was a laugh. Oh God, I can hear her. Right. Lynn does have a soft. Lynn agrees, Anna, but she has a soft spot for Anne Boleyn. Rebecca Molyneux said Catherine of Aragon, then Jane Seymour.
Oh.
Alice. So is Anne still here? I don't know if Anne's still here. I'm waiting to find out whether Anne is. This is quite interesting. It's quite mixed, actually, isn't it? We've got a real mix of things. You two have made me look up the hoodies. Yeah, we've both got hoodies on. We did discuss this. Eddie Crane. I like Jack's. Yeah, I do like yours, Gem. I got two Primark grey ones. I got the matching one. My mum bought me exactly the same one as I've already got Christmas. So now I can wash them. And I must have answered. I answered them. You must have missed it off by God. Sorry, Ange. Okay. Hi, pen to paper. Hiya. Where the bloody hell's Ange? Just comment. I'm having a And just listen, sorry, Ange, don't shoot me. You love me, really. Anne Boleyn was hers so far, but Anna, and Anne Boleyn so far, but Anna is her favourite queen so far. Ooh, that's very mixed. Sorry, Ange. Anna's her favourite queen.
Different.
Anne Boleyn's story. She's putting, so it's Anne Boleyn's story, but Anna is her favourite queen.
Yeah. To be fair, I think Anne Boleyn has a really interesting story. I just didn't like Alison Weir's retelling of it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my goodness. Jack's going off on a loony about the Uddies. Oh my goodness, we are a mad group, aren't we? It's definitely, I think this is quite interesting though, that it's very mixed. A lot of people are saying that they liked Anna as a queen, but very much of the books are very varied. This is very much interesting. Oh, Jack's saying she's interested more. I've got a random person that's written something random in the comments. Okay, I'll show you later. Okay, but yeah, it definitely seems. So Jack's saying that Anne Boleyn's always fascinated her most, but we think that the writing wasn't as best of Alison Weir's writing. Certainly not the audiobook. Yeah. So that's. But the audiobook was so well narrated. Oh, that's quite interesting. So yeah, let's all see how we all feel when we carry on going with the last two queens. Indeed. The next live will be on your channel, Gem.
Yeah. So that'll be probably the beginning of March.
Yes. Yeah. It'll have to be just for my birthday. Not my birthday week, because that's my birthday's right at night. We're going to do a live, also just a little bit of a personal one. We're going to do a live party show on here on the 8th of March. And I'm going to drop Alice and Ange and Jack in it. And I've already asked Gem. But probably I'm hoping my book waffle groups will join me and be on my live for my birthday party live. Because they're my besties. Yes. But not that's too much gushing. That will make you vom.
It will make me vom. So.
Yeah. But we look forward to hearing you. We will try and be a bit more on the Boxer group with Catherine of Howard. But we'll probably leave it a couple of weeks because Catherine of Howard is quite a shorter book, isn't it? So I don't know how many people are going to start it at the start. So we'll probably check in at the start of February, probably.
Yeah, I won't be starting it for a couple of weeks at least.
Let you know when you start it, and then we'll. But if anyone wants to comment on in the Boxer group, please let us know. And we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But I think that's enough. If you all like this video, for people of you that are watching it when it's been recorded, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. And subscribe to me and Gem because we're both pretty crazy. Bye, everyone. Do I go and end it now? Bye. Bye. Right, I'm pressing enter, everyone. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. There you go.